Brandon, how are you, man? Sorry about that. Teresa got the
No,
memo, but evidently there's no love.
I could have done my homework as well, but here we are, just 1 minute behind.
Yeah, oh, not a problem whatsoever, man. Not a problem whatsoever. And we have a couple dozen people registered for today, and then everyone on the call. This is going to have a long shelf life. Okay, here's Anna, fantastic. And I know that there are a lot of people in the community. I've been getting a lot of emails and calls. A lot of people are already using 90, and so a lot of excitement in the community for what we are unveiling today. So,
Love
when do
it.
I get a 90 ball cap, man?
Oh, dude, I'll send you. Oh, no, I'll send you one. I have like, because I go to a lot of events, so I have like a whole stockpile in my closet of just like 90 swag. I'll send
Yeah.
some to you.
I was mostly joking, but if you do, I'll wear it. Okay. Well, Brandon, man, I'm just gonna do a little housekeeping. We're already recording. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please, we set this up as we always do here at Growth Drive. We've set this up as a meeting which promotes interaction, right? Please, it is on you guys to please mute your microphones so that just so that we have a quality recording. If you have questions, Brandon, how would you like to handle questions during or hold them to after?
I'm an interactive guy. Like if
Okay.
someone's got questions, I can tell you if you got questions, you can interrupt. If you do like a hand raise, I'm not going to see it because I'm just going to be riffing. So, George, if you see something that I need to be aware of, just interrupt me, call it out.
Yeah.
Happy to
Uh,
do it in real
and,
time.
and yeah, and Izzy is unfortunately out today, so I'll be riding herd on this. And so maybe we should hold the questions, guys, because Brandon's I've seen his deck; it's fantastic. He's gonna cover a lot of ground. So maybe hold your questions to the end. If you have something a burning issue, throw it in chat. I'll see it and can interrupt Brandon if needed. Okay. So with that, Brandon, I think you're able to share your screen. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Snyder, he's in charge of strategic relationships for 90.io and really excited about what we're going to cover today. Thanks. So over to you.
Yeah, thanks, George. And grateful to be here. Love everything I've come to learn about Growth Drive and working with George and learning about your community. I'm so deeply grateful to be here amongst you all today. My hope is that everything we talk about inspires you from like a partner and a technology side. You start to connect the dots and be excited about what we can all do together. So, that being said, let me share my screen, kick this bad boy off. Listen, team, I know it's Friday. We are not going to have an overtly long conversation about stuff that's boring. So I'm going to try to keep this high level and exciting. At our core, we are a software company, right? We also have a partnership component. And I think one of the things I'm hoping to share with you all today is my team and I are in the field every day. We talk with business advisors, coaches, consultants of all different, shapes and flavors all around the world. One of the things when I think about 90 and the relationship we have with partners like you, is I like to share our findings. We have 1,500 partners that actively refer our software and our partnership into the world. And I always like to share kind of like what are the top 10% of all of our partners across all the different spaces? Like, how are they thinking? What are they like? How do they behave? Because I think some of that knowledge would be really good. So when I ask them, the top 10% of all of our partners, like, hey, what are you looking for in a partner? How can we partner with you and our software to help you do what you do? Here's kind of the three things I always hear partners are looking for from us, right? They're saying, hey, anytime I work with a partner, Brandon, I really want to make sure that whoever I work with can help me deliver real meaningful impact with my clients. That is the business that I'm in. That's how I'm paid, but it's also how I feel fulfilled. It's part of my purpose in being out and there in the world and working with clients. So how can you help me deliver meaningful impact with my clients, with your software and with your partnership? The second thing they think about typically is how do I deliver a world-class experience? This really comes down to retention and expansion in your client world. Your clients are hard enough to find and win. So when you do, you want to make sure you're delivering a world-class experience so they stick around. And heck, you can figure out even how do I expand and sell deeper into my client base and provide more services that help them. And finally, this may not apply so much to you because you have this whole valuation system. Like I find that exit planners and growth drivers like that are in businesses, they do actually a really good job at demonstrating the results because you can see how the valuation of a business changes over time. But a lot of partners are saying, look, I need something that can help show my clients the results of the work that we're doing together. So hopefully that makes sense. When they talk about what they want from partners, there's typically kind of three problems that get in the way. One is change is hard. At the core of what we're doing, a lot of consultants and advisors in the field is it's change management. You're trying to unwind years of behavior and show them a new way, a new operating system to get from where they are to where they want to be. And that change is really hard. One of the reasons it's really hard is because you're going to take them on a journey over time. They've got to think about the now, but they've also got to be building a better future for themselves and their company and their employees. And that lifespan, that time that takes is daunting for a lot of them. And finally, this is one of my favorite things, is there's a high degree of accountability required on your client to work the work with you that they're paying you a lot of money to go transform their business. So they're looking for you to hold them accountable, to say the things that not a lot of other people can or will say to them. It's hard to read the label when you're in the bottle, and you have the great advantage of being outside the bottle, helping hold them accountable. So when I think about 90 as a partner and as a software, these are really, we're bringing you an execution platform. I'm stealing this from you totally, George. Like, you guys are doers. 90 is your platform for doing your work with your clients. As I start to take you into the software and take you on a tour, I hope you start to make the connections to, hey, like, by using 90 as your execution platform and doing the work in there, you're going to help your clients through faster, easier change management. You're going to help them gain control of what's really going on inside of their organization and drive accountability for them as the owner, and for them to drive accountability of their employees to them. And ultimately, they're going to start to connect the dots to the journey you're taking them on, to the work and the results of that work. 90 does all of those things, helps you do all of those things with your clients. Just one more quick thing on 90, because I want you to understand that, hey, we're not just like a run-of-the-mill startup company. We've been around for 8 years. A lot of teams trust us. We have 15,000 clients on here, 200,000 paying users. Our companies grow reliably. We have 200, employees in the company. So we are a very well-established, stable software company. So hopefully that just gives you some insight into our company and who you would be partnering with. Okay. So that's like the setup, just giving you the context. Now let me actually take you inside of the platform. And hopefully, George, can you confirm that you're all looking inside of 90 right now?
We are. Thank you.
Okay. So our amazing solution architect, Teresa Voss, has been working with George tirelessly to build the Growth Drive operating system. George, I don't know if that's what you call it, but that's what I call it, the Growth Drive operating system.
Yes.
So we have been working to take the work that you do, the framework, the operating system that you take clients through, and put it into our software. The advantage of that is you and your clients are all speaking the same language, and you can manage multiple clients with our platform. And I'll show you exactly what that means. I'll tell you too, team, that I don't think it's a good idea to take you into every nook and cranny of the system. Like all software, man, that's going to get boring for you real fast. I want to take you around and show you the kind of core components of the platform today and tease you with what this thing can do, knowing that you're going to learn. The best way for you to learn the software is to actually get your hands to the keyboard in these cohorts, which we'll talk about towards the end of this presentation. So very high level today. You will always have one-on-one ability to contact me to do one-on-one training, but you're going to learn the platform by actually doing work in the platform in cohorts. So, George, any questions from the crew so far before I?
Nope, we're all good.
All right.
Thanks, man.
I know you're looking at a lot right now, and that's okay. It's important for you to know that whether it's you as the advisor or it's your clients, you all have the exact same view. So what you see here on the left as a coach outside of Partner Hub is exactly what your clients see. So you're all using the same tool set. I want to talk about the strategy planner. So one of the first areas that you're going to be working with your clients in is helping them build their plan, build their strategy. And the way we think about that is there's kind of two parts to George's system, right? There's the why and the how. So the why is documenting, like, literally why, like, what must the business ultimately deliver? Like, what is your reason for existing? What do you need personally, professionally? Like, what's your mission, guiding principles, all of those things. And when you work with your clients in here, it's as easy as clicking these pencils and just typing in information. And when you save it, it's all right here for your clients. On the how side, this is really like when you think about your software clarity, this is where your clients, when they're in 90, they can always go back to the valuation and see the changes over time as they work with you. So your clients will have access to all of their clarity information inside of 90. And if you scroll down, you're also going to start documenting things like the 3-year goals, the 1-year goals, your 90-day world. We all know that predicting performance beyond 1 year is challenging. 90 days, though, when you're using an operating system like Growth Drives, and your clients are working with you as advisors, you can actually get really dangerously good at predicting how you will perform every 90 days. So we keep it really, really simple here in 90. We're looking at things like revenue, profit, and a small handful of KPIs that help you predict the future. And you can imagine as you work with your clients every 90 days, you're resetting these. You're saying, hey, here's what we predicted. Here's what we actually did. And you're reconciling that. 90 tracks all of this information over time. So as you and your leadership teams change this data, we keep an archive of everything. So you can always go back in time and unarchive information if you need to. We also have, your 1-year OKR. So everything you need as part of your process is built into this kind of strategy planner page. Any questions so far, team?
No, we're still looking good.
Okay. Another kind of key tool on the planning side is our org chart. We always say, and I used to say jokingly, but it's not a joke anymore, all companies have an operating system, whether they realize it or not. I would say, George, back me up 8 out of 10 times on this, that it is the owner. The owner is the operating system. Yeah. So as your clients think about building value and ultimately taking their business to the point of transferability or saleability, it is not saleable if they are the operating system. They have to start separating themselves from the success of the business. And one of the great places to start this realization exercise and build the right structure is with our out-of-the-box org chart. So you don't have to use PowerPoint slides or Excel templates anymore to rig up a fancy org chart. We give you an out-of-the-box tool to do this work with your clients. So
Can I comment, Brandon?
You can.
And ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing here is, your client may right now be the operator, and maybe they need to morph into being the CEO, right? And primarily accountable for maximizing shareholder value. Maybe they want to exit the accountability chart 100% and become a chairman-like player in the business. Fantastic. What we've done is what Teresa, thank you, Teresa, has done is taken the 24 growth driving OKRs, and right here you see them assigned to the person who has primary accountability. And it looks like, actually, that's on me. I started it with executive, and I need to finish it for finance, operations, and revenue. But thanks, Brandon. It's all here, guys. And this is your leadership module inside Clarity, brought to collaborative accountability inside 90.
I think one of the most beneficial parts about this too, over time, what your clients will see is they'll start to understand how de-risked the business is from them. Almost always when you start this exercise, I think it's in the conversations I've had with the partners I've worked with, this is always an eye-opening exercise for your clients. It's like, man, yeah, if I went away tomorrow, the business is in trouble. So over time working with you, they're going to put themselves in a much more resilient position. The other beautiful part about this that your clients love is it helps them drive clarity and understanding around accountability. What are our people responsible for inside of the organization? Who sits in these seats? Do we have the right butt in the right seat on the bus? So over time, this is a very clarifying exercise, and it's really powerful for your clients. So everything I've been talking about right now has kind of been on the strategy side. I'm going to talk about meetings for a second, because what we really love about 90 is it's a really simple, elegant way to work with your clients to document the plan, the strategy, the how. But you got to do. Again, I'm stealing this from you, George. You got to be doers. You got to go into execution mode. And 90 is the place where you can train your clients on how to execute consistently against that plan, day to day, week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, and track results, right? So most times, George, it looks like there's a cohort meeting in place. Can I delete this? I don't know if you were running.
That's Ask Teresa.
All right, I'm just going to delete it. She can get mad at me later.
You're good.
I want to take you.
No, you're good.
Oh, Teresa, I didn't know you were on here. What's up, Teresa?
I'm here.
What's up? Sorry if I deleted your thing, Teresa. Meetings are where the action happen, right? It's where you bridge strategy and execution. But most meetings, we say that they're death by meeting. You walk into a room and it's an expensive room. You leave that room more frustrated and confused than when you entered, because you're missing kind of 3 ingredients, right? You're not starting on time. You're not ending on time. And you don't have a predictable agenda, so everyone knows how to prepare and participate. Well, in 90, through your program, through Growth Drive, you're going to bring those predictable meeting cadences to your clients. And it's as simple as this. You will likely run meetings with your clients, but the goal is to teach your clients how to do this themselves and have their own standard agendas. So when you come and start a meeting here in 90, we give you tons of Growth Drive out of the box meeting agendas ready to rock and roll. On a client by client basis, sometimes we pride ourselves on being configurable. Your clients may like to do things a slightly different way. So on a client by client, case by case basis, you can tweak these things. Sorry, George, if I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm going to say
that's totally cool. Absolutely.
You
We got to
can,
deliver the win, right? And we got to make it work. We must make it work for our clients.
yeah, you can tailor this for your client's needs. So just keep that in mind. So as this example, let's say you're going to run a weekly meeting with your client. You start that meeting and here you go. Here's that timed agenda over here on the left. You can see it's timed, and all I have to do is hover over the part of the agenda I want to go to and click it, and that's how I advance. And where you see kind of blank spaces like this for your clients, you can actually embed pictures, PowerPoint slides, etc. So you can make this look and feel special on a per client basis if you would like. And as all you have to do is just keep advancing the different parts of your agenda. One of the most powerful things you'll start getting into the discipline of with your clients is having them review the data, review their KPIs. This helps them feel connected and get a pulse on their business. Are we directionally moving things in the right direction for the whole company? And you can even drill down here in this teams menu. You can drill down at an individual team level. So let's imagine that you're working with the senior leadership team and you want to pop in to see what this says Brandon, but imagine this said marketing. You want to see what marketing's doing. It will load up an entirely different data set. So you can take a sneak peek into how every department is performing and the individuals in that department. So just trying to show you that how when you get into the discipline of talking about and reviewing the same important things every single week, you really start to bring execution, the ability to execute well against your plan to the table.
And guys, this is business flow in its raw form, and it is completely configurable. So, business flow is a first pass. You can come in and tweak it for a specific client very, very easily.
Yeah, 100%. But I just want everyone to really, because if I were to tell you across all of our 15,000 clients, 200,000 paying users, the number one utilized feature inside of 90 is the meeting tool, because almost every single company has a pain point around death by meeting. It's a universally understood and relatable problem. Frankly, when advisors come into businesses and they say they can solve this because they have a great meeting rhythm, a good tool to help them with that, that's an easy barrier to entry in most cases. And over time, it generally takes roughly 3 to 6 months. Your client will, again, that change management, they'll start to see how this tool connects back to the plan and how you're actually executing day to day, week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter against the plan. So again, I told you when we first started this, I didn't want to go too deep and overwhelm you with all the bells and whistles, but I'm just trying to show you the high level conceptual things. I want to talk about 3 more features really fast because I think I'm good on time. Just 3 more features that I think are key for you to know. We do have this data feature. You saw it in the meetings. Again, this can be across every single team in the organization. And when you think about your clients are likely often struggling with accountability, are teams doing what they said they would do, and are the individuals doing what they said they would do? Where you see this owner kind of icon doesn't have a face to it, your clients inside of 90 would have a face. This is just our quick demo environment, but you can easily see who is accountable to a KPI, and you can see things are very visual, green and red. Did you or didn't you achieve the goal in a time frame? You can slice up data to be weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual. So lots of ways to interpret your data. And again, if you click on teams, you can drill down into any team across the organization. So imagine if your leaderships are struggling with visibility, they don't feel like they're in control, even from a data perspective, with a few clicks, they can start to drill down into the information inside of the company to understand what's really going on. The next thing I'll talk about is objectives. These are really good focus filters, right? Like in a world where we can do anything, but we can't do everything, we want to make sure that we're keeping our teams laser focused on the objectives that really move the business forward every 90 days. And these are where those objectives would live if there were any inside this demo environment. George, any comments on objectives?
Nope. Thank you.
Yep. So again, your leader here, let me just make up a mock 1 test. I just want to show you kind of the power of it. So you can see, if you imagine there was myself, George, and Teresa on the senior leadership team, you should be checking, you would in your meeting flows, you'd be checking in on these objectives every single week. Objectives are typically one of 3 things. They're on track, off track, or done. So if you start to, as a leadership team, if you're going through leadership, marketing, sales, ops, finance, if I'm a leader, I can very quickly and visually understand, are my teams on track to deliver the most significant objectives for the company every 90 days? So again, just trying to give you that predictability, that visibility to hold people accountable. Let's talk about mastery real quick. Whenever you're working with a client, there's a lot of things that they're going to need to learn. Again, in that journey over time, they're going to need to learn certain concepts and disciplines to help them be successful in the program. So what George and Teresa have done, have working with George has created lots of video training content on each of these different tools inside of the mastery. This is templated. So every time you put a client, correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa, every time you put a client on 90, this templated mastery section is ready to go. So if your clients want to learn more about the 3 dimensions, or let's just talk about strategic capacity, they could click on this link and it takes them to Growth Drive owned IP content where they can learn about those tools in your mastery toolbox. So we really try to make it easy to educate your clients along the way to be successful in the business operating system that you're going to work with them through. Does that make sense? Any questions, George, from the crew?
No, and I'll just amplify. So what you're seeing here in the mastery, most of these are advisor. Several of these are advisor facing. We are going to augment these. They're 2 to 6 minutes, and we will make sure anything that is in the client side of mastery is client facing. So a lot more to come.
Yep. Still lots of great stuff we're building out. We do have partners too that work with us to say, hey, look, when I want the content inside of mastery to be me talking about certain tools inside of the toolbox. So if and when you get to this point where you want to work on producing your own content that's client facing inside of the mastery section of 90, we can certainly help you and have that conversation.
Cool.
The last thing I would share, just because I think it's relevant, is around process. Listen, process is hard. No one wants to do it. If you look at our feature utilization of the platform, Teresa, keep me honest, I think process is by far the least utilized because process is just hard.
Yeah.
It's changing all the time.
It's usually a big lift. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. The way we approach process inside of 90 is we try to give you a very simple Trello kind of card-based left to right process builder. So if you're thinking about certain key processes inside of the organization, this is kind of your master category. You can drill down into anything that would exist below this master. So in this case, predictable profits and cash flow. What are all of the steps that go on inside of that process to make it work? And when your clients have users inside of their 90, you actually see who's accountable for this step in the process. So imagine I'm onboarding into this company, I'm brand new, and I'm trying to train and learn how to do sales. I could go to the sales processes and very quickly start to understand what is the, if this were 90, what is the 90 way in which we do business development? And if I have questions on any step in the process, I can see who I need to go to learn more. In this process documenter, you can include attachments. You can hyperlink out to training videos. So we do have some flexibility in what our process documenter can do. But again, it is hard. Frankly, this will probably be one of the last things you do with your clients if I'm just referencing how all of our other partners perform. In the work that you do, though, it is incredibly important because process is about business continuity. Can this company repeatedly do the same thing from point A to point Z with the current people that it has to reliably get to the outcomes? So
yeah. Sorry, Brandon, didn't mean to interrupt.
Go.
Hey, could I ask you to do me one favor? Could you please let's pick predictable profits and cash flow. So that's the first dimension of business growth. And then you see that there are the 8 growth driving objectives, guys. Now, if you click, for example, Brandon, please, under effective senior leadership, if you click that down arrow, you're going to see all of the key results. Now, imagine turning these into projects, into sprints. And then with each key result, you have the execution guidance. So when you're asking yourself, how the heck are we going to do this? Or your client is saying, how the heck are we going to do this? In a few words right there is guidance on what you will need to do to create strength in that key result. You stack the key results, you gain strategic capacity, strength in that growth driving objective, and on, right? That's the name of the game. But I just wanted to highlight that it is all here. So we can translate this into action steps, assign accountability, and move the business forward. Teresa, I've got that right?
Yeah. So this version of it is for the advisors that you've got the piece as well as the executive guidance. The clients, if we want these in their process section, would not include that description because obviously we don't want them to work around you. We want you to be bringing the value of these pieces as well. So we could fill out these sections without that guidance in there, and then you would be driving the direction of all of this.
Perfect. Thanks, Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, I know that's a lot to unpack. And I said I didn't want to go super deep into all the nooks and crannies today. I do have a Q&A, time for Q&A at the end. At the highest level, those are kind of the core things I wanted to show you in the software. We'll come back if we have Q&A, but let me pop back into my presentation here because I want to talk about like how the partnership works, because we don't want you to feel like you are in the business of software. Software is a thing that for you and clients, it just is hard, right? Like adopting a new thing, learning a new thing can be a challenge. The way in which we've designed our company from a partnership and client success perspective is really designed to make it so for you as advisors, when you think about us as a partner, think about us like we are an extension of your team just on the software side. So for advisors, we have a whole process for how we onboard you and help you get started. Frankly, the business model in our relationship is you become to know, love, and trust us to the point where you see the value and you refer us to your clients as part of how you deliver your service. And for that, we compensate you. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But before you will ever get to that point, you have to have directional confidence and competence in the tool. Frankly, that's really my job in this part of the journey. This is what's kind of is considered advisor onboarding. I will typically work with you till you get to that point where you're like, you see the opportunity and you're excited and you're ready to put clients on 90. After that point, when you are actively working with clients on the platform, I can't help you. Like my seat isn't built to scale. So I will level up your experience and equip you with someone called a partner relationship manager. And they are really your go-to person. Example, you get an 11 a.m. text from a client on a Sunday. You're about to walk in to do some work or a session on Monday. And they're saying, hey, I don't understand, something in 90's messed up. You don't take that call. Like that's not the highest, best use of your time. Send that over to your partner relationship manager, explain what's going on, and we will take care of it behind the scenes to make all the things work. So that's what I mean. Another good thing a partner relationship manager will do is you don't have to demo the software for your clients. Like we don't expect you to be software salespeople. We have a process that we use for all, 1,500 of our partners where it makes it easy for you to introduce the software. We typically demo with them. We will then onboard them. And that's where on the client side, just as you have support, we have the same incredible support on your client side. So we will help onboard them, train them, get their accounts set up. If they have technical problems along the way or they need one-on-one or group training, they'll have a whole team behind them to support them. We understand that when you refer 90 to your clients, that's a huge transfer of trust, and that comes with a big responsibility for us. So through our, A and B round of funding, we've really scaled up our support teams to make sure we can take care of your clients because, again, we want you to deliver that world-class experience that helps you be sticky. Any questions there?
None in chat, so thanks.
Just conveying we've thought about you. We've got the processes figured out to support you and your clients. Let's quickly talk about our partner program. It's super duper simple. So whenever you're enrolled in a partner program through a partner like Growth Drive, one of the things you get is a free 90 account. In this relationship, and we'll talk about this, I think it's the next slide, we have this cohort thing we're doing with you. Consider that your free account to get in and play around and start to really understand 90. Whenever you work with clients and you're getting to the point where you're referring, you can actually exist in your client account with 90 for free. We don't want the reason they're paying a license for you to be the reason that they don't use the platform because it's beneficial. So no, that's another perk is you are a free license inside of your client environment so you can do really great work with them. We have a classic affiliate relationship with partners. So for every client you refer that becomes a paying client of 90's, we pay you a one-time origination reward of $5. I've heard some feedback in the community that, hey man, I feel like it should be higher. We're modeling it out, but just for perspective, I drive a Tesla, and anytime I refer a $60,000 Tesla to a friend and they buy one, I get $500. So the economics are pretty similar for us for how Tesla works, if that helps you. But yeah, so today that is the current program. It's a $500 reward. Again, as a partner, you get a dedicated support team, you get access to beta features, you get priority feedback escalation to our product team because we really care about what our partners think about the software and how it's being used in the market. So you can always reach out to me if you have questions about the partner program and how to enroll. Super duper simple. That being said, George, I thought we were going to spend a few minutes talking about the cohort model that we have for coaches in your community.
Yes.
Admittedly, I'm probably not as clued in as I need to be on this. So George, I'm totally leaning on you to say, hey, what's the vision for this? What do we think the next steps are?
Teresa is still here. Teresa, I thought you had bailed. So listen, guys, we're going to onboard you into 90 as cohorts. And the first cohort, this is going to be our, candidly, it's our shakedown cruise, right? We've got we have a full list of people who have opted in. It's on, you can join on the website. You can send me an email, but it's, right now it's not constrained in size, but it will be, if it's what we want to do is we want to all start using 90 together, learn together and workshop what we're seeing. And Teresa, unless I'm mistaken, you're going to participate. Brandon, you may as well. And we're going to take what we learn and use it to potentially streamline how the growth drive methodology, process, scorecard, execution, leadership, how all of that is presented inside 90 to make it incredibly intuitive for you to use to deliver value to your clients. So cohorts are going to be working groups. You guys have been through this before. The cohorts will be named. Cohorts are going to work together, and we will work as individual cohorts and then as a plenary of everyone in the community who's using 90. And I anticipate there will probably be a lot of usage. So Teresa, you keep me honest here.
That is all correct. And we actually, for the first cohort that we're doing with you guys, we do have a time already scheduled for December 5th for an hour for us to do more in-depth training. Brandon, is on your calendar so that you know that's there. And we'll just do a little bit more of a deeper dive that allow you guys to ask more questions. And like George said, yes, we will be kind of working through this to get the system exactly where it needs to be so you are comfortable and confident pitching this to your clients, so it becomes a very natural suggestion for you guys to bring this to them, and then you're also comfortable using it with them here every step of the way for you.
That's 2 Thursdays from now, guys, so it's in about 2 weeks. Sign up for the cohort, make sure you get on that list, because we'll be targeting mailings, invitations, etc., to that list. And I see a lot of people on this call right now. I counting on you being in there. And then we have, people who aren't on this call. A lot of people in the community are using 90 already. So this becomes a natural.
And George, if I may, one of the things I love about the cohort model, when we analyze our top performing coaches, we'll say the top 15 to 20% of our 1,400 in our partner ecosystem, we call those coaches ambitious coaches. They are out there delivering meaningful work. They're doing it on their terms, and they're living their ideal lifestyle design. One of the key things that separates ambitious coaches from the other 80% is that they do work like this. They get into cohorts, they get into accountability groups, they challenge each other, they hold each other accountable to doing the hard work of building a coaching practice. Because we often forget, because we're solopreneurs, that we are running a business. And we do need partners in our own communities to challenge us and hold us accountable and inspire us in ways that we otherwise couldn't get on our own. So that's my hope in doing these cohorts with Growth Drive, is I believe in what you're all doing. I believe in the community that George has built. And I think when we get in here, your practices are really going to thrive. And I'm excited to be part of that journey with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, Brandon kind of teased it out. We will be monitoring cohort process. We're going to use, our community circle, but we'll also hyperlink into 90 so that we can work on these issues together, collaborate with accountability, start using the tool to run the cohort as well. And there are going to be a lot, there will be a lot of cohorts. We're excited.
Well, team, that's the show. I wanted to make sure I left 20 minutes. I'm right on time. I want to make sure I left 20 minutes for Q&A. So I'm going to stop share, and this is our time to look each other in the eyes and ask questions and give some good answers.
Well, okay, guys, I know you're not shy, so fire.
I'm going to jump in.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Brandon, thank you very much. And we connected on LinkedIn this morning or last night, so thanks.
Nice.
Okay, a lot of customization is needed. So we use the Clarity 1 into the 2, Clarity 2 as the framework. And then the actual specific what people are going to do by when and how is often customized within those banners of say sales process. And then, so for example, Wednesday I ran a meeting that really then lines up next stage to use 90 for the ongoing execution accountability. And under sales process, they have 3 priorities: who they need to target and who's going to do what by when in targeting clients. And so how is that, maybe you could show us, how does that customization work within the framework that we have?
Great question. Let me fire up the share here. George, if there's anything you want to add before I start going into the software, you let me know.
Nope, you're good.
Well, I'm going to use, Larry, great question. I'm going to use the term configuration. Words matter, and customization can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Configuration
Got you.
Yeah. So a lot of language can be changed throughout the platform. And if you're inside, let me take you back into Growth Drive real quick. If you are inside of your account, or your client's account rather, inside of 90, and you find there are things you want to change, there is this little feature up here called Partner Hub. And I'm not expecting you to become a Partner Hub master, but on a client by client basis, you can actually come into Partner Hub and change bits and pieces of 90 to fit your client's needs.
Brandon, I'm going to stop you real quick.
Okay.
Partner Hub's going to be for the bigger scope. So if Larry, if you have a template that you want to use for all of your clients specifically, that's where Partner Hub would come into play. Brandon, what he would do, if Larry, if this is part of like the strategy planner, you would actually do it with inside the company account. So you would give yourself what we've built with George is kind of the baseline version of what we're doing with Growth Drive. And then you can tweak independent companies. So from this page, you can come in here and hit the edit button in the top left corner, add sections, change sections, move sections, and make it applicable to that specific client if you need to.
One of the things I'd recommend, Larry, is if you find yourself in this scenario where like, hey, I mean, I'd like to make some tweaks I don't understand, this is a great example of what myself or a partner relationship manager can help you do.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to become a software expert. I think if we got on a call and you walked me through the exact scenario, whether it's me or a PRM, we could help you in real time build this out for your client.
So we could take the action planner that is customized for that client, say the one that I was at Wednesday, and configure it within the framework here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What we've created with George is just, like you said, the framework, a very bare bones skeleton outline that you guys can start with, but it is not set in stone as long as George is okay with that. You guys can add and move and tweak things that make it applicable to the clients that you're working for. We want to be able to meet you guys where you're meeting them. So if we need to move some stuff around, that's where we can help. And so it can very much be, as a general sense, you guys can all use this template and then make tweaks per client as needed.
Yeah, the name of the game is helping clients increase strategic capacity, right? How do we help them deliver their win? If they want to make the business easier to run, they want to create sustainable growth, are they preparing to transfer and they need to maximize value? And all of that can be done very dynamically inside 90, as these guys have shown.
Larry, the thing I'd say too is, with all software, not just us, like the first time we do something is always the hardest out of the gate, right? Like you're learning, we're learning, clients are learning. So I would really encourage you that if you're at the point where you want to have that conversation, like I think let's just get on a Zoom call, let's talk through it. We could probably do some one-on-one work together in 30 to 60 minutes and get it built out. You'd be confident enough to use it with your client.
Good. Thank you. I had one more question, but I want to give the rest of the room a shot first. So.
All right, rest of the room, you're up.
Really, no questions.
Vincent, I think we've spoken in the past. I saw your camera light up. I think we've met before.
Maybe we have. I know I've worked with Teresa a lot, but yeah, possibly. Yeah, good program.
Good to see you again.
Yeah,
good.
And Vincent, you're using 90 currently with clients, right?
I do. I have every client that once we go through a triggering event, they go on to my 90. That's the only way that we can track them versus some Excel spreadsheet that's stuck in a OneDrive or Google Docs or something, and then nobody can see it. And they really love it. And the more you use it, the better you can communicate with clients, especially with some of the enhancements that 90 is doing. It really keeps us as consultants or coaches, however you define yourself, involved and engaged with your people.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't pay me to say that either. So
no, I love to hear you saying that. So you're a reformed wealth advisor. So Vincent and I are, very friendly. We're friends. Vincent's been in the community for a long time, very active. Reformed wealth advisor, business coach, SEPA, and notorious SEPA exit planner. And so I'm thrilled to hear you to have your input. Thanks, man.
Hey, no worries. Yeah, I think this will work really well, whether you're looking to grow value in the company, exit the business owner, combination of the two, and you're trying to move the owner through the clarity process. Now that they're combined, I don't know, I just find it so much easier to utilize. And I saw the chats on the cost. Clients, that's like nothing for them.
Yeah.
I mean, $16 a person. You just, I don't know, once I explain it to them, I give them a little, like on a Teams meeting, kind of go through it, and they just gravitate to it. I would agree with Brandon. It's probably closer to maybe 6 or 9 months before they really gravitate to it. But most of that's really figuring out like how to do an objective and then creating the milestones within there and understanding what they need to do there. But that's where we come in and consult with them and move them through as to why they need to do it that way.
Yeah. Thanks, Vincent. I need to send you a 90 hat. You've earned one today.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, buddy. That's good. I like it.
You got it, but it's going to be in the mail. Yeah. So that, Vincent, but in all seriousness, like to your point about it's a journey over time, the time is real and change management is hard. Frankly, though, that's why they're hiring you.
Yep.
In 90s, our role in your universe as a technology tool set is just to be the place where you go to work that work and document the results so they can see the change over time.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at it, statistics show from Yale and Harvard, 70% of strategic plans fail due to lack of execution and lack of clarity within the team members. When you have some clarity that you can bring everybody together and do it and have some execution and keep everybody accountable, I think it's great. Brandon, I didn't see you touch because I was trying to juggle two things, having a plumber come to the house also, but did you talk about the assessment?
I didn't talk about the assessment.
Maybe want to just take 1 minute and just touch on it because Teresa, or maybe it was Addie that brought it to my attention, or maybe it was Teresa a couple of weeks ago. And I've started using it with clients, and I'll tell you the conversations you have with teams that you can gauge how well they're doing in certain areas is priceless.
Yeah, and again, that's so the assessment. Here, I'll fire up the
Sorry, I didn't mean to take you off track.
Oh, brother,
I love Vincent.
I love you keeping me on my toes, man. So inside of 90, there is an assessment feature. The concept behind the assessment is, again, going back to it's a journey over time. We're trying to help people benchmark based off of what we believe are 9 core competencies of their business. How strong are you in a scale of 0 to 100? So as they take this assessment, as an admin or a lead, you can come in here and start to launch assessments to members of teams that you want to take the assessment. This is typically just the senior leadership team. This isn't designed necessarily to be a whole company thing. You want to see how your leaders rank their business on these 9 core competencies. Over time, as they work with you in your system, if on average they were a 40 out of 100, like the total of all of their assessment, and in 180 days they were a 65, you're showing directional strength and directional growth. That's the concept behind it. And launching it is super simple. We give you the out-of-the-box assessment. So all you have to do is target the people you want to send. You say, hey, when is it due? You give some description, you select the recipients, and you hit launch. And they'll get an email in their inbox saying, hey, you've been asked to take this baseline assessment. And then they click it and they go through and take it. I don't have any results here in the back end, but on the back end, if you were the advisor that launched the assessment, you would see the results from that assessment. Which is very valuable for you because as you have those conversations with your clients at the start or every best practice, Vincent, keep me honest, I think is you should be doing this every 90 days, like every quarter to see how they're improving 90 days at a time. It gives you lots of interesting insight. You're going to start to see things that they don't see. Like that's part of your role is you see things they don't. So you're going to surface those things to them as a result of the assessment.
Yeah, I would agree. And one other thing is when you launch the assessment down at the bottom, there's a way to create a to-do within the My 90. And I'm always trying to find ways to keep them engaged with the portal. And so when I did mine, I created the to-do. So I assume it goes out on an email, plus it creates a to-do. And then that way they see it 2 different ways on their dashboard when they log in. And then they'll get it completed better, but then they're used to looking at it and used to looking for stuff. And that's always the key is you got to get them used to coming here and working on the portal.
Yeah.
Teresa, do you know if in any of our other demo accounts, do we have a completed assessment?
I don't know, but I can go looking.
Well,
I have a dummy one I can send to George and he can share it with the group afterwards or so, and then they can take a look at it.
Yeah, I think that'd be very valuable, Vincent.
Yep.
George,
you don't have to send me a hat though.
I'm going to send you a mug now too. You got a hat and a mug.
I already shot Teresa a note saying, hey, assessment's very cool. If it would be appropriate to make those growth drive centric as a first pass, right? then we will add that. It'll be additive to what 90, the Excellent Tools 90 has already put at your disposal.
Yeah.
If it isn't, then I won't invest the time.
Right now, it's what we call our baseline assessment and an org checkup assessment. So they are 90, I wouldn't say 90 specific, but they are pretty laid out. We don't have the custom aspects yet, but it has been, the second it came out, I was requesting we're going to need custom stuff. So I've already got it in front of people that need it. So we're probably an iteration or two out from that. But like Vincent said, it's a good baseline to give them kind of an idea of where they're at. And I think that it could be usable in the state that it's in right now, but it will only get better as we're able to start customizing stuff.
Yeah. Our guiding principle is to become indelible, to leave an indelible mark with our clients, right? And that leaving an indelible mark is not growth drive centric. Leaving an indelible mark means helping them move forward, become a better business than when we found them. And 90 is absolutely part of that story.
Larry, I want to get back to you had a second question. I'll get back to that in a sec. Let's talk about pricing real quick. So to Vincent's point, pricing is never why people object, by the way. The only objection that I hear, not the only, but the main objection I hear typically is around, I don't have the capacity to learn anything new right now. So I just share that with you because I don't want the pricing conversation to ever be a thing. Frankly, it's a thing that your clients don't even care about. Like, oh, $16 per user per month. That's nothing. Let's talk about how it works though. So we are month to month. There are no long-term contracts with us. Your clients can start and stop at any point. They all get a 30-day free trial. Our data says that if they are in 90 with you and they run 2 weekly meetings, there's a 76% chance they will convert to a paid customer. We are very sticky. So Teresa, I don't know what our average client tenure is. It's like 24 months. So once they're on the platform, they're here and they love it.
Mm-hmm.
So just sharing those things with you for confidence.
Awesome. I love
All
it.
right, Larry.
Shared pricing philosophy, by not requiring term contracts, what 90 is committed to doing, what Growth Drive is committed to doing, we don't have term contracts, is making sure that our interests align with yours, 90s align with yours. And both of us will work hard every month to make sure we continue to earn your business. I love that.
Larry, did you have another question?
Yes, meetings. So it looks like you pre-populated what an ideal meeting, right? A level 10 type meeting is. Can we customize that? I assume yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
and the meetings that are in there, guys, come right out of, the growth driving advisor. Teresa has gone and put those agendas in there and they can absolutely be customized.
That's very good. Very good.
And Larry, those
Yes.
can be customized again per company, or if you want to do an overall, like if you have a particular way you do run a meeting, you can do it for the overall big picture of all of your clients. And we can go through those different ways later on.
Thank you. Well, I'm looking forward to the cohort training coming up. And I think it's an opportunity for us to get deeper and really going from this to how are we going to specifically use it? What does it look like? How do we tailor it to our clients and position it for them? Because there's an element here of, right, Vince, you've had to position it so that they say, not worrying about the cost, but they say, yes, we got it, we need it, and we understand how it helps with accountability, how it helps with all the things you guys talked about.
And
yeah, to Brandon's point, cost will not be why they don't do it. It's just not that expensive for them. And I find that to just extend on it, I don't know the time frame, but usually, certainly within the first year, if not less, once they start using it, leadership team level, then depending on the size of the organization, they will start getting other people on the system to do stuff. Yeah.
And if I could add to that, guys, if you saw last week's article, and I have an article written that, by the way, Teresa and Brandon, is in your inbox. Another article. If you're working with COIs, and those of you who are wealth advisors out there who are exit planners, if you are trying to educate clients, if you want to get them focused on maximizing transferable value, you should be using Strategy Planner in your discovery conversation. If you never do anything else, you will have introduced the concept of working, and they will have access. You're a wealth advisor. You're not a business advisor, and you don't want to be. Get it. You can just hand your client access to the growth drive methodology, process, etc., inside 90, and simply have a window into how they're doing on an ongoing, non-disruptive basis. It can be incredibly powerful for exit planners. It's a no-brainer in my mind. In fact, as one of your users put it, it is invaluable. So from a business advisor, this is a no-brainer. If you're a wealth advisor and you're wondering if you should be looking at this, you should be. You must be. So there's my plug.
Team.
Well, use it with your COIs, guys, right? Have your COIs look at it and understand why it's valuable to them.
Team, like we do for our clients, we start on time and we end on time. And we are at time.
On time.
And I say
Fantastic.
that because I have to run to another meeting. But I'm grateful to have been here with you all. Know that you have my contact information one way or another. We'll connect. We'll participate in the cohorts and we'll get you off and running.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks, Brandon.
Brandon,
Thank you
Teresa,
all.
thank you very
Thanks,
much.
George.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
of course. Always. Be well.
Bye-bye.